Welcome to another Server Lab tutorial. Today we are going to look at cleaning up our old containers. If you have experience with Docker, you know that Docker keeps a graveyard of containers. Containers that are essentially old discarded things that will never be used again. We need to clean that up. Otherwise, you're going to eventually run out of storage or some other issue. Maybe you'll even run out of inodes. I don't know. The idea here is that we need to keep things nice and clean, and we're going to show you how. Cleaning up Docker containers is as simple as identifying all the exited containers, and it doesn't matter if it was an exit 0, an exit 1, 2, 255. We need to get rid of it. We're not going to use it anymore. So we can quickly query Docker for all containers that have exited, and then we can take that list and actually pipe it into an xargs command, which will then run docker rm. So we'll do that as a manual task, something that we type in every once in a while, but we'll also show you how to add that into your cron job so that you can do the cleanups once a day, once a week, once a month, whatever frequency you feel fits your environment best.
Without further ado, let's get this tutorial started. The first thing you'll notice is that I'm running Ubuntu desktop and Docker is not actually running on this host, so we need to actually SSH into that server, and we'll do that now by opening up a terminal window. And let's expand it just because we need a lot of real estate to see the verbose output that we're going to get. Let's SSH in. Great, we're in. The first thing we want to do is let's take a look at what's running currently, and we'll do that using the docker ps command. As you can see, there's only 2 containers running. They're just there for a demonstration. They're not actually doing anything. But what we also want to do is let's look at all of the containers that have run on this host, and we'll do that again by using docker ps, but we'll attach the A flag to it. As you can see, a much larger list, and you'll notice that there's a variety of different exit statuses. So before we do that, let's just use the docker systemdf command, and we can get a good look at all the storage that's being consumed by our images, our containers, and our volumes. Okay, so that's a pretty minimalistic output, but it gives you a little bit of information. We're not actually using a lot of storage for our containers, and the reason for that is because we're not actually running anything in them. Our Nginx container is literally running a single HTML file. It's not consuming a lot of storage. Same thing with WordPress. It's really just running a WordPress install that's really compact. If this was your environment, you're likely going to see a much larger chunk of your storage being consumed by old containers. So this is just going to give you an overall view of what's being used. If you want an even more verbose view of everything, we can actually use the V flag. So let's do that. And there you have a much more verbose output. So let's take a look at what we're going to see in this report. At the top, you're going to see your different images, and they probably consume the most storage for us right now. But it's a good idea to see who's using what. And below that, there you have your containers, and as you can see, there's nothing there. All our storage is being consumed only by the image, and the reason you see 0 size is we're only reporting the delta. We're not actually making modifications to our containers, but in your environment, you're probably uploading an entire application that could be 10, 20, hundreds of megs, and you're going to see that in your container view if you're basing it off an existing image, or you may not, and that depends if you're creating your own image with your app already installed. But if we go a little lower, we'll see our volumes, and if you're attaching volumes, this is what you're gonna this is how you're going to see how much storage they're consuming. We're digressing. Let's just look at removing all our old containers and cleaning them up. So what we need to do is we need to generate a list of IDs for all the containers that have run in the past. And we're going to use the Docker PS command once again to do that. But this time we're going to use the Q flag just to get the IDs. And we're also going to use the F flag so that we can search on the status, which will be exited. Okay, great. Now we have all of our IDs of the exited containers. The next step is we need to pipe that to xargs, which will take those IDs and then give them to the xargs command, which will be docker rm. Okay, you'll notice that it outputs the IDs, but this time it actually removed them. And we can verify that by just looking at using docker ps-a once again. And as you can see, the list is much smaller because we have removed all those old containers. There's a few that are there still that weren't removed because the status was created, not exited. You could do a search on those as well. But more importantly, let's make sure that our running containers haven't been removed. We can already verify that here, but we can use the docker command to do that as well. And there you have it. Everything that was running previously is still there. So the next thing we want to do is we could always run this docker command for cleaning up our exited containers, but maybe it's something we want to do on a scheduled basis. And that's what cron tab is going to be for. What we're going to do is we're going to take that command and we are going to put it into cron tab. Now, the thing of cron tab is you're not actually loading a profile, so you're not going to have your paths, and that basically means you can't just go docker ps because it won't know where docker is. We actually have to get the specific path for not only docker but xargs. So to do that, we're going to use which, and we're going to use the which command against docker first. And the output is going to give you the path. So the path to docker is /user/bin/docker. We also need to do xarg, so let's do a which on that. You can see that it's in the same directory as docker, so that simplifies it for us. We don't have to remember a whole lot. So now that we have that information, let's open up a cron tab and let's enter our command. We're going to actually use root's cron tab for this because we want this to run in the background as root and not have to worry about other user permissions in your environment that might not fit well with your policies, and you can use a different user. So let's open up cron tab now. Cool. So we're in cron tab. If you're not a master of cron tab, it's something you probably want to read up on if you're going to do this. In our example, we're going to run cron tab every day at 1 a.m. So to do that, we're going to put *1 ***, and now we're going to enter the command that we need to use to actually clean up the container. So /user, if you remember, /bin/docker, and then ps, the a flag, the q flag, f flag, there's a lot of flags here, status equals exited. Now, don't forget, we need to xargs that. We need to xargs the IDs into a docker rm. And there you go. We can now save this and it will run on a scheduled basis every day at 1 a.m. An alternative to this is you can actually write a shell script and put those commands in. Then have cron tab execute that shell script. Either way, whatever works for you, that's your environment. And now we have scheduled a automatic container cleanup for our environment. And we'll exit. So if you felt that this tutorial was very helpful, please like it, subscribe. We'll be trying to push out more tutorials on a very frequent basis, and we hope that these help you in your environment. So thank you for viewing, and we'll catch you next time.